Chapter 8. The night was still, yet Tilly's mind was anything but. She stood alone on the castle balcony, arms crossed tightly over her chest, as if holding herself together. The events of the past days weighed on her, refusing to let her find peace. How could she even think of resting? So much had unraveled since her 20th birthday ball, a twin sister she had never known, a kingdom teetering on the edge of war, and the unbearable anger she felt toward her parents for abandoning Sage. Innocent lives had been stolen, their fate uncertain. Cove's fate uncertain. She took a deep breath, the cool night air doing little to soothe her restless thoughts. "What if we're already too late?" she whispered, her words lost to the wind. From the balcony, the rolling hills stretched endlessly, bathed in the silver glow of the moon. The rivers carved through the land like glistening veins, whispering their secrets to the wind. Beyond them, the great forest stood shrouded in mist, its dark canopy hiding mysteries unknown. It was beautiful, tranquil even, but to Tilly, the serenity only made her unease grow stronger. The soft sound of footsteps echoed from behind her, breaking the silence. She didn't turn at first, recognizing the quiet steadiness of his stride before he spoke. "You can't sleep either, can you?" Astor's voice was gentle, laced with something deeper, something unspoken. Tilly finally turned to face him, the moonlight draping over her like silver silk. The flickering candlelight from the corridor behind them danced across her face, illuminating the worry in her eyes. Astor studied her in the quiet, his heart tightening at the sight before him. He had seen Tilly in countless moments, fierce, determined, laughing under the sun. But now, standing beneath the stars, she was something else entirely. A quiet storm, a princess carrying the weight of a kingdom, a heart burdened with too much. She stood there, lost in thought, the night breeze brushing over her bare shoulders, exposed by the off-the-shoulder tunic she wore. The sight of her was both fragile and powerful, and something inside him ached. Ached to take away her sorrow. Ached to shield her from the horrors lurking beyond these castle walls. Ached to touch her, even just for a moment, and promise she would never have to bear this alone. The night was still, the air cool against Tilly's skin as she stood on the castle balcony. The weight of the kingdom's troubles pressed heavily upon her, but before she could sink further into her thoughts, a familiar voice pulled her back to the present. "Tilly." Astor standing there, the soft glow of the moon casting sharp angles across his features. There was hesitation in his eyes, something unspoken lingering between them. "You know, I never got the chance to have a turn with the birthday girl." His tone was light, but there was a quiet sorrow beneath it. Tilly shifted, rubbing the back of her arm. So much had happened since the ball meant to celebrate her 20 years of life. Chaos and tragedy had stolen the night from her before she could even take a moment to enjoy it. Astor's expression softened. Everything happened so suddenly. Chaos and misfortune stole the night that was meant to be yours. "I'm sorry, Tilly. Your birthday should have been filled with laughter and light, not uncertainty and fear." She opened her mouth, but no words came. The ache in her chest swelled at the sincerity in his voice. "But perhaps." A small, hopeful smile tugged at his lips. "I can make up for it now." Tilly's breath hitched as he stepped closer, his presence grounding her in a way she hadn't realized she needed. "A dance," he said, his voice softer now. "Beneath the beauty of the moonlight and starry skies. No ballrooms, no music. Just you and me, right here." Tilly hesitated, but only for a moment. Then, with a small smile, she dipped her head. "Yes, night, I would love to." Astor extended his hand, and she placed hers in his without a second thought. His touch was steady, warm, a silent promise of strength and reassurance. As he guided her into slow movements, the world around them seemed to fade, leaving only the quiet melody of the night. Tilly had danced before, countless times in grand halls, beneath chandeliers dripping with golden light. But this was different. There was no orchestra, no audience, no expectations. Just the two of them, moving in harmony beneath the vast expanse of the sky. His armor, though cool to the touch, held a warmth beneath it, a contradiction of steel and tenderness. She could feel the steady rise and fall of his breath, the quiet strength he carried, not just in his stance, but in his heart. The breeze whispered against her skin, carrying the scent of wildflowers from the distant hills, mingling with the faint trace of steel and leather from Aster's presence. The stars above shimmered, silent witnesses to a moment neither of them wanted to end. For the first time in what felt like forever, the weight of responsibility did not press so heavily upon her. The worries of the kingdom, the looming threats, just for a breath in time, they did not exist. Only this. Only him. Aster tightened his hold ever so slightly, as if grounding himself in the moment. Holding her felt like holding the night itself, mysterious, delicate, endless. Her hand in his fit as though it had always belonged there. The moonlight wove silver threads through her hair, and the flickering candlelight from the castle illuminated the worry still lingering in her eyes. She was not merely a princess, she was something celestial, something fate had placed in his arms for this one fleeting moment. And yet, behind the beauty, there was sorrow. A burden no crown could lift, a pain he longed to take from her. If he could shield her from the dangers lurking beyond these castle walls, he would. The cool steel of his armor separated them, but he had never felt closer to anyone. As they moved, her fingers brushed against the edges of his duty, his oath to protect. A silent promise of trust passed between them, unspoken but deeply understood. Aster wished this dance would last forever. That the world beyond the balcony's edge would cease to exist. That the only battle left to fight was to keep her here, safe, in his arms. But dawn would come, and with it, duty. And so, for tonight, he would simply hold her. He would let the stars bear witness to a knight who, for one moment, had no kingdom to fight for, only the girl in his arms. The night air was cool, wrapping around them like a whispered promise as they swayed together beneath the stars. The future loomed uncertain, a shadow stretching before them, but in this moment, none of it mattered. Only the warmth of his hand in hers, the quiet rhythm of their dance, the unspoken words lingering between them. Tilly exhaled softly. "The future is uncertain, Aster," she murmured, her voice barely above a breath. "But before we march into the unknown, I need to say this." Aster's grip tightened ever so slightly around her hand. His gaze held steady, unwavering, as if bracing for whatever truth she was about to reveal. "I've harbored feelings for you since last year," she confessed. "And even more so recently. I tried to deny it, to push it away, but it only grew stronger." Aster swallowed hard, the weight of her words settling over him like a heavy tide. "Tilly, you are the future queen, if we all survive this," he said, his voice laced with quiet conflict. "I swore an oath to protect you. I have begun to see you in a different light, though I could not name the delicate feelings blooming within me. Like a spell I never meant to cast, yet could not undo." His breath was uneven as he added, "I always dismissed it because—" "Tilly, don't you want to marry a prince or a king?" Tilly placed a gentle hand against his chest, feeling the cool steel of his armor beneath her fingertips. "It could take years to find a prince or king who truly loves me," she whispered. "Or perhaps it may never happen at all. But with you—" Her eyes searched his, a softness to them that unraveled something deep within him. "I've known you since childhood," she continued. "We have countless memories together, of laughter and kindness, of trust and understanding. Even now, as we dance, I feel it." Aster swallowed hard, his breath unsteady, his heart warring against reason. "Tilly." His voice wavered. "I always saw you as something more. But I told myself I could never have you. I am no prince, no king, just a knight sworn to serve you." Her expression softened, her fingers brushing against the sharp line of his jaw, a touch so delicate it nearly unraveled him. "Then perhaps fate has brought us together for a reason," she murmured. "I only have eyes for you, Aster. No one else." His breath hitched, his resolve breaking like waves against the shore. Slowly, hesitantly, his hand rose to cradle her face, his thumb tracing the curve of her cheek. "And I." His voice was barely audible, reverent in its sincerity. "Only have eyes for you." The moment hung suspended in time, the world shrinking to the space between them, to the trembling breath they shared. Then, as if drawn by an invisible force, they leaned in, closer, closer until their lips met in a kiss that sealed something deeper than fate. Under the moon's gentle gaze, the future queen and her knight gave in to the truth they had both tried to deny. A love born from years of friendship, strengthened by hardship, and destined by the stars. Tilly hurried down the long, torchlit hallway, her heart still racing from the whirlwind of emotions she had just experienced. She barely had time to compose herself before nearly colliding with Fable, who was making her way toward her guest chamber. "Tilly." Fable greeted warmly, noting her friend's flustered expression. "I'm so glad to have bumped into you." Tilly caught her breath, pressing a hand to her chest. "Oh, Fable, I don't even know where to begin. I have just experienced something that made me the happiest creature to ever walk this land." She hesitated, guilt flickering in her eyes. "But at the same time, Cove and the others are still out there, lost and in peril." Fable placed a reassuring hand on Tilly's arm. "Do not despair," she said gently. "Tomorrow, the 3 wise mages and the great sorcerer Valorian will journey with us back to your castle. We will save Cove and the others soon, hopefully by tomorrow." She smiled. "That would be for the best." Tilly nodded, though the weight of uncertainty still pressed upon her. Fable studied her more closely, her eyes narrowing with curiosity. "But tell me, what has happened to you?" Fable asked. "You look flustered, excitement and uncertainty written all over your face." Tilly hesitated before answering, a blush creeping onto her cheeks. "I was by the castle balcony," she admitted, her voice softer now. "Taking in everything that has happened since my 20th birthday party. I kept worrying about the future, about Cove, about all the innocent people who were taken, and then Aster came along." Fable arched an eyebrow. "Aster?" Tilly lowered her gaze, a shy smile tugging at her lips. "He said that to cheer me up, he still owed me a dance. One that he missed at my birthday ball because of everything that happened that night." Fable's eyes widened in realization. Tilly continued, her voice growing more breathless. "So we waltzed together under the moonlight and the stars, and I revealed my growing feelings for him." Fable gasped, then let out a delighted laugh. "Finally. You both admitted your feelings for each other, it's about time." She placed her hands on her hips, shaking her head playfully. "Honestly, I was beginning to think one of you would need a magic spell just to say it out loud." Tilly giggled, her earlier worries momentarily forgotten. Fable smirked. "I have some news too." Tilly tilted her head. "What is it?" Fable's expression turned coy as she twirled a loose strand of hair. Back at the previous campsite, Callum admitted his feelings for me. Tilly gasped before breaking into laughter. Really? Callum? I never saw that coming. Fable shrugged, though a soft blush dusted her cheeks. But still, Tilly continued, beaming, it's beautiful. What do you feel about this? Fable exhaled, her expression growing thoughtful. I felt really touched, and I'd like to explore it more. A flicker of worry crossed her face. If we survive all this, of course. Then, as if to lighten the mood, she grinned. Oh. And he promised me a date. Tilly let out a joyful cheer and pulled Fable into a tight hug. That's wonderful, Fable. I hope it all works out for you. She pulled back slightly, her smile unwavering. I am so happy for us. But as the excitement settled, a wave of sorrow returned. Tilly's smile faded as she whispered, I just really hope Cove and the others are still alive and all right. Fable's own joy dimmed, and she took a deep breath, her expression solemn. We have to believe it's true, Tilly, she said quietly. Or it would break us. A heavy silence lingered between them, their shared hope and fear intertwining in the dimly lit hallway.